Morning, Matt. Okay, good morning, real life traders. Good morning, those of you watching on YouTube and all other traders around the world. It is Friday, June 24th, and we are looking at a gap up today in the market. So let's just take a quick look at what's happening with the futures. So looking, we've got the S&P here looking like so that looks like the SPY would be a gap up today, and same with the Qs down here. Let's this is the daily chart of the SPY. So a couple things we want to be aware of. So we've got depending on where we open, we do have the this is the 20 EMA here. Actually, am I using the EMA? Exponential, it is. I wasn't sure if it was the simple or the exponential. Anyway, we got the 20 here, 20 here. So we're gapping up. We'll have to wait and see where we open in relation to those moving averages. Justin, good morning. What's up, Beaver? Love it. All right, inside joke, but I will make it public for everyone. Justin and I were on the cruise together in Croatia, and I shared that my nickname since I was a little child is Beaver, and it was I was given that nickname by my brother and my sister, and so the entire trip, and now Justin refers to me as Beaver, which I told him is totally cool because there are some people, believe it or not, in my life who don't even know my real name, so that's all good. Excuse me. So okay, so let's take a look. I already started doing some adjustments to my lines for the tickers that we follow for the 10 EMA strategy. So for those of you who are joining us on Rock, good morning. Those of you who are joining us on YouTube who may not be familiar with the 10 EMA strategy, we're going to talk a little bit about that. But then also this is a beginner Friday. So this is when we slow things down a little bit. We take our time, we explain things, more in depth than we normally do, so we go a little bit slower, and the goal there is to help those who are new to trading or newer developing traders, just trying to educate them and help them develop the tools that they need to be consistently profitable. So 10 EMA strategies. So I've already started adjusting my lines here. I've already done NVIDIA and Tesla. Let me just double check, make sure I have Tesla all set. So just to walk you through what I've done here, and then we're going to do it with Amazon, AMD, and a couple others. So this kind of choppy blue line here is my weekly. So we're on a daily chart here, but that is my weekly 100. So I have an indicator that actually plots the higher time frame moving averages on my lower. So it's important to know what kind of overhead resistance you have. So if we're going to be potentially gapping up, but let's see, Tesla is not gapping up at the moment. It is looking like an inside day candle compared to yesterday. But if it were to gap up and you're trading it bullish, you would definitely want to know where this overhead resistance is. So we've got that marked out. These green lines represent the high and the low of the previous day. So when I'm on the 5-minute chart here, and I will be switching that to a 3-minute chart later, when I'm looking at that on the intraday, I know exactly where the previous day's high and low are, because you want to oh, sorry, thank you. I always forget to change the screen share. Okay, sorry, thank you for that heads up, Mike. And Mike has been in my one of my mentorships, so he knows full well that I often will start talking about a screen that you can't see. So thank you for letting me know that we weren't on the proper screen. So anyway, back to here. Here's that blue line I was talking about, the light blue line. That's the weekly 100. Here's the green lines, right? Represent the high and the low from yesterday. This red dashed line I have laying right where the point of control is. And then I also have the this kind of crimson line, which is the 10 EMA. I have a black line here that is the 20 EMA on the daily. So all that's plotted out here also on intraday. So as I'm trading intraday, I can see exactly what those levels are. So I already did NVIDIA, Tesla. So let's adjust Amazon. And so, by the way, also to make things easier, I just leave my lines on, right? There's no reason to delete them because every day I'm going to adjust those lines. So I just leave them on the chart. Let's go to Amazon. All right, so let's just adjust our lines here. High from yesterday, let's see, 113. That was the wrong line. Let me move that up. The black line and the green line were right on top of each other. So let's just do that. Okay, so let's put the black line back to where we want it, which is 112.11. All right, so here's our, excuse me, here's our 10 EMA. Let's put this back down where it's supposed to go, which was 113. All right, the low from yesterday, 107.93. All right, so we've got all that marked out. We got to adjust the 20 here. I'm sorry, the 10. That is 109.85. And so point of control, zoom in a little bit here. Point of control, it's way up here towards the end of the day. Just move that up. So for those of you who use volume profile, you're familiar with the point of control, basically just where the largest amount of volume went off price-wise yesterday. And you can see that that was right near the top there. So that what was the point of control number for Amazon? Yeah, we're gonna Amazon is the here right here. So point of control roughly around 112.50. So I just see this when you're looking at my volume profile, this red area here is the point of control. So I've got, so the point of control yesterday ended up being right near the high value area. So all right, so that's Amazon. Let's go into AMD. Actually, let's go back to Amazon for a second. Just let's talk about the picture on the daily. Okay, so right now, if you notice, we have pre-market. We do have price action above the high of yesterday's candle. Okay, so according to our rules, and give me 1 second. I already packed away my rules for this 10 EMA because I'm heading up to Canada after this. So anyway, if we do have, if we do end up with a gap on any of these, if it opens with a gap, we are free to jump into the 10 EMA trade immediately upon, after the open. And then if it doesn't, then we have to wait 20 minutes. So there's rules based around it that I'm not going to go through all the rules right now. But right now for Amazon, we're looking at a small gap above yesterday's open. Again, not sure if it's, we still have time before the market opens. So, but that would be a gap up, be a retest gap since yesterday was a bullish candle. So we have a bullish candle gapping up, retest gap. Okay. Let's move on to, and again, if anybody has questions, type them in there. Happy to answer whatever questions you have. Let's take a look at AMD. All right, AMD right now inside, it's actually right near the, wait, I have to adjust my lines. Hang on. I thought I adjusted those already. Okay, let's look at AMD. The low yesterday, 80.23. Okay, high from yesterday, 84.41. We'll adjust these. This is the 87.20. 90.96. All right, so we have those adjusted. Point of control, let's go into the point of control here. Move that down so we have a reference line. All right. Okay, so right now, AMD, we are looking at an inside day. And to me, the way I interpret inside days is inside day typically means chop, right? Doesn't mean it can't move, but in more often than not, I expect it to be choppy price action if it's an inside day. Like yesterday, we had a lot of the tickers were inside days, and so you notice there was a lot of chop. As everyone knows, because I put it in Slack, I actually took 2 losses yesterday, unfortunately. Can't trade it per my plan inside day. Yeah, so Matt, exactly. So like, for instance, yesterday, right, because it was an inside day, I have a similar rule. And so with Apple, I had to wait until it actually broke above the high of the previous day, and it did, and I anticipated more of a move. Didn't happen, and I got stopped out. But that's life, it happens. Move on to the next trade, right? Shake it off and move on. AMD, okay, we're all set with that. Again, we're looking at an inside day. So myself and Matt, we're probably not, well, I shouldn't say probably, we're not going to be trading it until it breaks, right? We need it to pick a direction. Let's go to Delta. No inside days for me, Wesley says. Yeah. So it's interesting. So, everyone has certain stocks that they just don't trade well, or sectors that they don't trade well. And airlines is one of mine. Like, I've never had great luck trading airlines. It just, and it happens. You find that there are certain sectors or certain tickers that, are just like your nemesis. So anyway, but, I'll still trade it, but I don't love trading it. So let's make some adjustments here. Okay, so the high from yesterday, 30.12. The low, 28.79. Right. So I'm gonna just eyeball this one because we're pretty far away. Be close enough. Normally I like to get it exact, but these are pretty far away from the price action. So as long as they're relatively close for this, that's fine. Point of control, just that. All right. So Dallas, you know that from listening to me, I'll do that frequently. Delta, I just get used to the DAL for Dallas. Anyway, Delta, again, we're looking at inside day. So we're going to need the price action to get above the yesterday's price action if we're going to be able to trade it with the 10 EMA strategy, or it needs to gap above. Let's see if it were to gap above this level here, 29.89. So it's close. So we'll have to see. We'll wait and see on Delta. And then we have Apple. Let's just change the name. Yeah, change it to Dallas. Instead of Delta Airlines, Dallas Airlines. Justin, make that happen. He's on it. Cool. And by the way, Justin, did you see my my message I sent you in Slack last night? Yep. Cool. Awesome. Good deal. All right. Apple hit me yesterday, punched me right in the face. All right, 140.41. And by the way, those of you, and I do have other trades I need to put into Slack for you, but I think Apple tries to fill that gap today. Yeah, we'll take a look at that in a second. So those of you who are in Slack, who are part of the real life trading community, you'll see that I posted my Apple trade yesterday, and and so there was some feedback last night, and the feedback was good. So again, per my rules, I couldn't trade an inside day, so I waited for the break above, and when I finally got it, and it broke through it with a real good candle on volume. So I took a limit buy, thinking that it had room to run, but then also the market started dropping, and unfortunately Apple followed the market, and so hence the loss I took in Apple. But that's why we use stop losses, so that you mitigate your loss, you control it. Let's see. So Apple, I may have already done Apple earlier today. I did. Yeah, yesterday was rough after the open. All right, so Apple, I already did adjust these lines, but we'll go through it. So green lines represent the high and the low from yesterday. My red line here is my 10 EMA. The black line is the 20 EMA. I do have overhead resistance right here on the weekly 100. And let's see, point of control. Yeah, Mike, so definitely, we're gonna look at that. So we got point of control here, I've already adjusted. So let's look at this on the daily here. So what Mike was just pointing out is, yeah, it's gapping up, and look where it's gapping. It's gapping right into that 20, right? And then you also have the 100 on the weekly right above it. So the weekly timeframes, if you notice, this line is a heavier line than the other ones, and I do that on purpose so that I know that that is a higher time frame moving average. So if you're going to be looking to get into Apple, you just want to be aware that we're gapping, to this 20, right? And whether or not we gap above it or below it is yet to be determined. But then you do have the overhead, the overhead resistance right here on the weekly. Now, does that mean it couldn't get through? Of course it could, but you want to be aware of that if you're into the trade, because that might be an area that you want to take some off just to lock in some profit. But that's Apple. Now, for all of you, I'm using the funded account, and for the funded account, you cannot trade Roblox or Airbnb. So I'm happy to go through those if you want me to. I don't have those on my chart just because I can't trade them with the funded account, but we can certainly take a look at them. All right, so yesterday, down day on Airbnb. I'm not gonna drop all my lines on here again because they're for me, and I'm not I can't trade it with the funded account, but let's just look at it. So bearish day yesterday on volume, and then we have the high from yesterday, low. We're looking at an inside day on Airbnb. So if anyone's looking to trade that, again, keep in mind, excuse me, keep in mind it is a inside day, and inside days can be choppy. Let's go to Airbnb and Roblox. So all right, Roblox. Looks like we're getting a gap up on Roblox. So for those of you who do trade it, who are able to, and again, it's just not a ticker that is included with the funded account, but we are looking at a gap up. Okay, so here's yesterday's price action. It was a nice move yesterday on Airbnb. Let's see, was there, curious if there was, just looking to see if there was any type of, I'm looking down here at the news just to see if there was some type of catalyst. So I guess they're saying that there was a whale alert yesterday, which just means that some big money was stepping in. And so that could have been, some big money getting in, taking positions. Hard to know, right? But I always look down here at the news just to see what kind of a catalyst we might have been looking at. So anyway, gap up, right? And it is, basically for the pre-market, right? It's just kind of chopping around with it within this channel here, right? So just moving around here. It's okay if it breaks below it, breaks above it, but it's just kind of chopping around this channel. But what's kind of nice about, if you look at Roblox on the daily, right? So this is the daily 100. So it's a smooth line. So I can tell on my chart that that's a daily versus this jagged line here, right? So a lot of room to go before you get to the 100 here. Support resistance, right? We're kind of, if you look at it on the daily, yeah, right there, right? So you've got, and it's we're trading above it. So I'm just looking here. I'm just looking, you know, I always use the term look left. So I'm looking left. I've got, you know, it was previous resistance here, all through here, here. So previous resistance becomes new support. So it breaks above it. So this is the level here. Let's say like 374, I mean 374, 3480, let's just say roughly, it would be the area that, you know, should now provide support for Roblox. So if anyone's looking to trade that today, again, keep in mind it's going to be a retest gap. So you will expect it to retest the open, retest throughout the day, just typically the way that those react when you get a bullish candle gapping up in the same direction, right? So you get a gap up, there's going to be people who are immediately profitable. So there's going to be some profit taking. People look at that gap up. If they got in yesterday, it's like, it's a gift, right? So a gift from the trading gods. And yeah, so Cindy's pointing out also, you get these 4 bullish candles in a row, right? So it's been making a push higher, and yesterday's candle here, decent volume. So just keep an eye on that, because, you know, TDOC, that's a good question. Matt, I'll check that out in a second. I actually have to open here. Hang on a second. I have to open my funded account. I haven't done that yet. So no, it's fine. It's all good. Let me check it right now. Nope, not there, unfortunately. TDOC, not in the funded account. So anyway, Cindy was pointing out, you've got 4 bull candles in a row, right? Now, once you get 4 or 5 bull candles in a row, that's a lot, right? Doesn't mean it can't still keep going up, but it's, you know, you have to expect at some point it's going to retrace, right? So the question is this level going to hold, and can price get above that and then hold there and then keep moving higher? So we'll see. I mean, there's no reason it couldn't put in a 5th bull candle or a 6th, but keep an eye on that. Let me just clear these lines. Let me, let's see. I'm going to go to a different share for a second, go back to, all right, well, here, I can show you this. This is, all of you can see this, this chart here where I've got, so this is where I'm looking at all of them. This is on a different monitor. You can see I've got NVIDIA here, Tesla, Amazon, AMD, Delta, otherwise known as Dallas, Apple, and Oxy. Oxy is another one that I personally like to track. It's not part of the 10 EMA strategy, but I do like to keep an eye on it. Let me just do, I got a couple of things to do in the next 5 minutes just to prep for the open. Let me open up my position size. I got a spreadsheet that I created that helps me track or helps me do my share size for the funded account, because it's, again, it's not, you're not trading 100 shares, you're trading, that would be 1 share because they're done in lots versus right, technically 100. Okay, so let's see. Here. Okay, go back to here. Okay, so market's going to open 4 minutes. Does anybody have a gap on love? Looking good. Let's check that out. LUV. All right, so Southwest, right? So keep an eye on, you know, let's see, yesterday's high. So what I like about this, all right, and Wesley's pointing it out. So you've got, look at all this sideways action here. So you've got pressure building here with decent volume, right? So there's something going on, right? You got, I mean, look at the volume here compared to if you look left on the volume. So you've got increased volume starting with this candle here, but especially down in this area here, right? So you got a lot of indecision going on here, right? And then you had this candle here yesterday, which again, indecision, but now you're getting a gap up above that. So the gap, right? So right now it's just getting above. Okay. Now the only thing, Wesley, I will point out to you about this gap is that yes, it is. Hey, Ben, man, how are you? Yes, it's gapping above right now. So price action is above that level, right? But the other thing that I look at here, okay, in general, if you looked at pre-market, there's not a ton of volume, right? The volume's very light. So when I'm looking at volume pre-market, I like to see at least 10,000 shares having been traded pre-market as a minimum for me. So, you know, keep an eye on that because there's not, I mean, there's not a ton of, so we've got 3,000 here, 570. There's not a ton of volume here pre-market. So could gap, it could, you know, the gap could fail, who knows, but keep an eye on that if you are looking at trading love, okay? So, and then also right here, right? You've got, just keep an eye on that level right here because the close of both of these candles, and you've got the 10 EMA right here coming down, and they're all pretty close. So you want to just keep an eye on that, which is roughly about 37.25, 37.30. I will actually add that. I've got one empty spot down below. I'll just put that down there just so we can keep an eye on it. All right, so I'm going to bid farewell to everybody out there in YouTube. Appreciate you joining us. And if you want to learn more, go over to reallifetrading.com. It's a great community and check it out. A lot of free content, a lot of you can get educated without having to spend money. And then if you care to join the community,